Hello, everybody, and welcome. Uh, I will be your host for today's panel discussion. I am Ms. Akshaya Thombre, and on this wonderful occasion of Calligraphy Day, we are here for a discussion of the future education related to calligraphy and typography in our country. So I am very happy to have all of you in our midst, and your opinions and your experiences has been a great inspiration for all of us, and I'm sure it will be a great inspiration for all of the audience and all of us all over the country for a very long time and time and again. So, so should we start with the questions?
Yes.
Yes, sure.
Sure. So, we have been facing all of this pandemic lockdown and a new common or a new way of living for past couple of years. And we have a lot of change in attending lectures and teaching and various forms and various ways. So today, the first question I would just like to ask to all of you, which I would like to discuss, that how have the lockdown impacted on teaching calligraphy and typography nowadays? So I know it has been very tricky, especially teaching visual arts has been really tricky. But yeah, everybody, all of you must have having their own experiences related to this. So if you could say something about it, GV sir.
It has been a very different experience teaching any design related subject, especially visual related matter in an online mode. So while teaching calligraphy, what I have realized it is not just the visual impact of showing, giving, for example, we give a demonstration of different tools on a sheet of paper, and then we introduce the tools to the students, and then we ask the students to take the reference of what you've done and then start working. When you compare to the traditional method, when you are in a classroom and the teacher shows certain things on paper in front of the students, there is something like an X factor which cannot be described or articulated. It is not just the audio and the video, it is much beyond that. So there is even the smell of the ink and the paper, and when you do a demonstration, the that sound of that, the nib biting the paper, and the way a stroke moves, the way ink flows into the paper, and your body movement, and the way your hand moves. There are a lot of these things. I really realize that you cannot capture in a video at all. Having said that, I think it is a big challenge. These are the things which are not in our control. COVID, lockdown, and maybe the next 1 year also is going to be online. So, what I am feeling is that as teachers, we need to adapt. We have to face the challenge and teach as well as we can in this restraint. So we have to accept the situation and then do. So I accept that only around 80% of efficiency can be achieved when we teach calligraphy through an online platform compared to the real one. Like for example, many masters like Achyut Pallav, Santosh, Narayana used to come to our classroom, spend 1 day with my students, and be there and do all the demos, all the work in front of them. It is a very different learning experience. So we can't beat it. So we have to take as much as advantage of the opportunities we have now through video and sound and other media, and do as best as we can. I will conclude here, and I'll request other panelists to comment on.
Yes, please. What are your views about this, Achut sir? Sir, I guess you're on mute, sir.
Yeah. See, first of all, for my calligraphy class, there's no question of demonstrating, frankly, because I've almost decided that in online I will not able to demonstrate. But I received offers from various schools and irresistible offers, like from the school kids and about 300 or 400 students at a time. So one good thing I found is the online is an advantage of spreading the activity. I will repeat, not teaching calligraphy, because calligraphy has many levels. And the basic level is absolutely a skill level, that is teaching basic calligraphy. So, and I devote my teaching mostly into the basics rather than the expressions. There are reasons, but this is not the time to discuss that. But my online experience, even teaching basic calligraphy, I have to work, I have to prepare a lot than before. You see, in classroom, it was in a way easy that I give a material list to students, they have to get it. All the liability is with the students, but in online, it's other way around. 90% I prepare, and I don't mind preparing. The issue is I never get a chance that how much my student is prepared. So the teaching, whether the basic level or advanced level, that is important, that how much the student is also ready to receive you. Otherwise, you will be extremely passionate. You will be, in a deep preparation, and the student is his mind is somewhere else. So that is the problem with online. But the other advantages is that I made what preparation I did is I did my first time I did my basic demos, and I've shot it separately, because while talking I can't demo. Even in my class, while talking I cannot demo it. Let's understand the limits, maybe my limits. So I've shot the demos and I have shown while talking the demos, which was not possible in earlier era. That when you're talking and you're showing demos, of course, I've never even stuck in my mind that I can shoot my demos and put it, unless the IDC's project that is there in DSOS, Professor Ravi Puya make me do the demonstration. Frankly, I didn't like them, but they were broadcasted long ago and has created a lot of viewership and has created good impact, it seems, on people, you see. So I'm trying to say here is, as far as basic calligraphy is concerned, online instructions, because it's an instructional approach of teaching, that's possible, but not satisfactory to a teacher nor to a student. Nothing can be replaced to the real teaching and learning, because when there is a class front of me, I try to understand the mind of a student looking at his face. Now here all are mute, all our pictures are not seen, only I'm talking to numbers. I feel that I'm talking to a wall. So of course they feel always that good, yeah, we have learned a lot and all that, but you cannot validate whether they have really learned or not. In live class, that is a satisfaction. It's a satisfaction. For me, a true teacher satisfaction is like avana gavana. Now it's very difficult to translate this concept of when a singer sings and the listener listens to it. There is a complete give and take. One is mum, one is actually performing, but both of them are performing together. The perseverer and the instruction, both are performing. That joy, I'm 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 not getting it at all in online teaching.
I
Okay,
agree.
don't allow me to talk more, because I don't stop before 45 minutes. Yeah.
Uh, so, sir, what are your opinion on this, Ajit sir?
I think initially I was not ready to teach on online, but finally I decided that this is you have to work hard and you have to give the knowledge to the people. So I create one after 3-4 class. I create my own strategy. Can we teach same like when we are teaching in the class? Can, can we teach, discuss one by one? Can we show the actual work, what what is the correct thing? And after a few months, because uh, post post lockdown to 2 days, I'm taking a lot of classes, and I think this is a good improvement for me also. And last batch I'm taking the Devanagari, it's 6, and I'll show in the like I don't know because the way they are working, it is work like you can see you're teaching in the class, and I think this is a good experience for me, and people are doing also good because I got a response from the people that मजा आ रहा है देवनागरी करने में. So that is I got a satisfaction, and I learned a lot of things from all the people also. How to correct the calligraphy, how to correct, and you can use the two devices. One is for the talking, and one is for the working. So give the proper angle. I set up the angle also. Everything is. I did a little bit commercial things in that. I got the response from that. So that is, I think, it's day by day. I'm improving, and people are giving a good result also. Yeah.
Great, sir. That's amazing. Narayan, sir, what would you like to say about this? Narayan, sir, you are on mute, sir.
I'm doing graphic design, but in this pandemic situation, there are no work for graphic design. That time I'm doing calligraphy work. Every day I do 6 or 10, 6, 7, 8 works. So it is a good situation for me. I have provided training to individually and collectively and workshops at all levels. I personally prefer face-to-face sessions rather than the online learning. Online learning is very not satisfying.
That's nice, sir. Tarun, sir, would you like to give your opinions on this?
Yeah, thank you, Akshay. Actually, it's a very interesting thing. I was trying to relate to what Professor G.V. Shri Kumar and Dr. Santosh were, and even Achut sir were saying that the pandemic has actually hit all of us because for many years we were used to carrying out our work as teachers, as mentors in a certain way, right? And we had a certain familiarity and a comfort level के अपने बैग में पेपर्स, अपने टूल्स, अपने इंक्स लेके स्टूडेंट्स के पास पहुंच गए, and then the magic starts happening, right? So we were also pushed into a corner कि there are students out there who want to learn, and जैसे अच्युत सर बोल रहे थे कि we also want to share our expertise and knowledge. So all of us had to innovate. So it became calligraphy or typography, which we have, plus technology, plus camera angle, plus lighting, plus making sure that other sounds don't come and things like that. So it has been a huge challenge, I believe, and I am not just saying this from my own experience, but I am speaking on behalf of all the teachers across the country and across the world who are, doing this for the love of letter forms and calligraphy, that it was a huge learning curve for all of us. But it is the passion and dedication of the teachers that led us to a situation ke chalo kuch figure out karte hain. In my own personal experiences, when I look at the broader subject of trying to teach calligraphy, typography, there are different stages. So something like publication design or typography where already computers are being used, it's a little easier to handle because you can share the screens, you can share your live software and show it to the students. The biggest advantage is that those Zoom meetings or those Google Meets where you are interacting with your students are also getting recorded. So if there is a student who has some doubt after dinner when he is working on his own, they can quickly go and look up on the recording कि अच्छा sir ने तो ये दिखाया था. That's been a big advantage. Perhaps that technology was already there before the lockdown, but we never got into the groove to make friends with that technology and use it to our advantage. I agree fully with Santosh, that we also had to prepare a lot, and I am very sure and very hopeful that this preparation will go a long way, because even if when the pandemic subsides in the coming months or the years, but there will be a lot of us who will continue to spread the love of letter forms through online mediums. From a learner's perspective, it is very important that we talk a little bit about the learner's point of view. Earlier it was so difficult to get into a workshop or even a demonstration of somebody like Achut sir or somebody like Santosh sir. But now, even a child sitting in Jamshedpur has access to his online classes, has access to their videos on Instagram. Now, that is where the pandemic, the technology, and the social media has helped bring the community closer. No? And what Shri has been doing with all those WhatsApp group and Facebook groups, so suddenly a student has access to some of the top teachers and experts in the country to answer his or her questions. What more could we ask for? It's such a beautiful time in the history of calligraphy, teaching, learning. The third point is that अब lockdown हो गया, you can't step out of the home, so you finish your school work, you finish your college work, either you help your mama and papa for cooking and all those things, or you have the whole time in the rest of the day to sit quietly in the balcony or in your room and practice. So in the pre-lockdown, what used to happen was that some friend will come and tap on your shoulder, चल चाय पीने चलते हैं, और वो समान काम टेबल पर रह जाता है. The lockdown has actually given hundreds and thousands of young people who are interested in calligraphy that additional window of time to sit and practice and practice and practice. And if you look at social media, there are so many people who are doing so much of wonderful work, of course under the mentorship of such people who opened up their doors. We are actually right now teaching calligraphy in a classroom which does not have any walls. And I'm very excited about it. Thank you.
Lovely. Lovely. That was really great. Actually, it is a great idea. When looking towards this whole everybody has their own perspectives, but everybody has their different perspectives. It can be negative at times, it can be positive at times, but this is a lovely perspective that we are sitting without wall, and it's amazing. It's really amazing. Yes, Hiralji, if would you like to say something about this?
Yeah, actually, as per my experience, I felt it is challenging as well as opportunity also. Now, challenging for what? Like for students also and for teachers also. At initial stage, it was difficult to figure out how we can teach students online. The camera angle and the explanation and the angle, the degree of the tool, the proportion of the letters, that small details. I was very worried about students, how they will understood. They can get the proper idea or not. So I need to prepare myself for those small points. And I need to give some handouts in advance to the students. So for me, it was challenging, but positive side is at least I was very much prepared, very much well organized before my any teaching, any workshop. And opportunity wise, if I say, it's good platform online. If you are in India, in any small village, you can teach to any student across the globe, and students gets recording, so they can rewatch it and improve it. And later session, they can ask questions and they get queries solved. So both way it is good. Thank you.
It is great. All of us are having our own experiences related to the post-lockdown and lockdown situation about teaching calligraphy and typography online. Um it has actually been a lovely journey actually, because not only the students but the teachers, as all of you very well said, that the teachers have also learned a lot. Like
Yeah.
we were some people who were so just one way of thinking, or in one perspective, that we couldn't see off it, but now we are finding a lot of alternatives to do something more, to put something on Instagram, and everybody is so active on social media that I think that somehow also helps the awareness of calligraphy and typography in some or the other ways. There are many other people who really don't know about it, and they are getting to know about all of this eventually, and that is really amazing. That is what has changed during this lockdown. It's really great. So moving on to the second question. This question is for Ajit sir. Sir, calligraphy, professional practice in calligraphy and awareness in India and in other countries. What do you think about the awareness of calligraphy professionally in India and as well as other countries, as you've been to other countries and visited and looked forward to it?
Yeah, actually, basically, in foreign country, they are very much serious about each and every book. Because I connected with the Barbara, I connected with the Paul Anthonio, I connect with the Katharina Pieper. So, what's the problem in our country? I'm telling you that we are working only for the WhatsApp. That's the only thumbs up. You want likes. I always telling in my class that don't do that. Make a documentation. Make a proper work. And slowly now, because a lot of groups are now start for the calligraphy. So there is one group in Delhi right now, and almost good people are there from all over the India. Raghunita is taking special efforts, and a lot of people are doing good work. So I say, it's not only for the WhatsApp. Do it how you can use the calligraphy commercially. Think from that angle. Because I did a lot of work in advertising agents, all media also. But that is not enough. Now you have to start differently. So today, even I mean Lalit Kala, I was giving a demonstration. So I was talking with the same thing. See, you're thinking that within 2 minutes you are showing all these things. और मैंने प्रेजेंटेशन में काफी सारा काम दिखाया मैंने उन लोगों को, हाउ आई वर्क स्टोरी बिहाइंड एवरी वर्क. So think from that angle and do something creative. And I think there is scope for all people. Only one thing, that you have to work very seriously. It's not only to take for to do the writing or put the emotions on your paper, but work with the emotion, work with the commercial.
So, I would just like to add on this. How would we professionally, improvise if you're working with calligraphy? I mean, the way you said it, it is amazing. But we also need to, like, there are people who are thinking about putting calligraphy or typography in a use of a in a professional manner. Like if you see in the other countries, people are using calligraphy typography as a profession in a very on a very higher scale. So how about, what do you think about our country and how it can be worked out? Just a
In
suggestion.
India, if you want to work as a professional, so you should know all the script of India. Because I'm telling you the small example. When Boman Irani asked me, if you, Ajut, can you please work for me. Follow. Please tell me the assignment. We want to give a very different gift to Amitabh Bachchan. Okay. So मैंने कहा कि what is meaning of the Amitabh? So he said everlasting light. So immediately I say, can we write same word in all the languages? He said yes. Then what is media? So we create a one Pashmina shawl. So initially idea was the person like Amitabh Bachchan give the different, something different gift, and that is with all Indian languages. And I think that time I use almost 21 languages. Yeah, one Indian and foreign some. So you must be know all this. If you are in master, that means don't think like that. Devanagari. You should know the Kannada. I can do all the languages because you are a. You must be know the knowledge of all this, and that is very important. Akshay.
Great, sir. Thank you so much, sir. It's amazing. It's amazing to know your views related to commercializing or professionalizing calligraphy. It's amazing. So, Santosh sir, we would like to come to you. We have always heard about, like at least generation from which I come from. Been always heard about Sir R.K. Joshi a lot, and we know that you've been in his midst for a very long time. So we would like to know your experience with Sir R.K. Joshi.
Yeah, a wonderful question. I would like to talk for hours.
We do not have that much time,
I
sir. It will be
know,
lovely to know
I
about
know.
something in a very short time.
But Akshay, you can say this, you can understand what I mean is I was with the extraordinary stalwart genius of the country for 12 years, not 1 or 2 minutes, and not necessary that he spoke to me more than 12 sentences. Unimaginable scholarly relationship. And not necessarily I was his pet student. I was the most notorious student of RK, but I was beloved. Besides the point, let me make a statement. Professor R.K. Joshi was not just the calligrapher. I mean to say, now I have a temperament of where the world is going and how they are defining calligraphy. Yeah, the calligraphy, art of beautiful handwriting and skills, no. Professor R.K. Joshi was special. Your question was, I'm coming to your question. Experience with R.K. Joshi, yeah. I have already spoken about Professor R.K. Joshi on net, and I'm giving you those links right away on the chat. You may can share it if Professor Shri Kumar allow that to the whole world. About more than an hour I spoke about him as a person, because it is not easy to talk about such a great person in 1 or 2 minutes. It will be wrong, it will be dishonest with the amount of time and energy I spent with him. Only 1 or 2 points I will say here, since you asked me questions. Calligraphy is not just the skill. When in Aine Akbari, it is said that the black cloud pregnant with the knowledge, the Islamic tradition, or rather than Islamic, I'll say Arabic, the Perso-Arabic. See, our knowledge is very narrow. I mean, not knowledge, even information, not a knowledge. Knowledge is something really big. We are informed in a very narrow way. In spite of the era of Google, who stops us to understand the philosophical aspect of calligraphy? Who stops us to learn about philosophical aspect, the spiritual aspect of China, the spiritual aspect and the godliness of the letter form from Middle East. Who stops us? No one stops us. No one stops us to understand the definition of the word akshara in India, akshara, and it gives us the line of thinking. And it inspires, is enough to inspire us. Why we need RK? Our own words, which are Sanskritodbhav, which are coming from the Sanskrit language, are capable enough to guide us to the conceptual aspect of the letter form and its potentials, and not just the stylizations and the effects in order to sell calligraphy. I have nothing against selling the calligraphy. I only say that what calligraphy gives you as a person, whether that enriches you as a person, not just spiritually, but also as a person. If it is giving you, then it will give it to your students. Simple. That's what I've learned from RK. And what I have learned more specifically is not the mammoth of quantifying the work, the quality that matters, the meaningful, the semiotics and semantics. I used to tease sometimes to RK that in IDC you use a jargonish word and I don't understand that, but they means a lot. See, I'm a hard critic, although the friend of RK and like a kid, but I used to always had a very hardcore discussion with RK. One day I will disclose them. Whatever I've said, I have already said in the talk, and I think that is enough and sufficient. To answer your question in 3 minutes is impossible task for me. However, I prepare. Thank you, Akshaya. But over to you. Thank you.
It is amazing. It is amazing when you talk about RK sir. It is the glow on your face tells us everything, I guess. It is amazing the way you speak about him. It is amazing the way you share about it and your experiences. It is really amazing. Just looking at you feels amazing.
I only hope that it should be useful for everyone.
Absolutely,
it's not
it is.
For me. I'm not Amitabh Bachchan.
Akshay,
Yes, sir.
Santosh can imitate RK very well.
No.
Oh,
Don't
wow.
request me
Those
that.
days, no, I'm not asking him to do that. Those days, if he used to sit in one room and imitate RK, and students used to really believe that RK is sitting in the class.
Amazing. Thank you, sir. So, Narayan sir, we would like to ask you a question now. How do you feel about the future of calligraphy as a full-time profession in a post-COVID state?
Although the calligraphy scene in Kerala is still infancy, it is showing signs that it will get better in near future. Today's college students and youngsters, the young generation has started to realize the potential and showing immense interest in calligraphy. And I can consider that as a sign the optimism will soon be fulfilled.
Thank you so much, sir. It's amazing to know that. So, Tarun sir, I would like to ask you that a lot of students, a lot of people in the audience are not only when they are watching a YouTube video or a live session or an Instagram videos or pictures. We have a lot of people who are unaware about it. They look at it, but they don't understand that it is calligraphy or typography or handwriting or all the other things. So I would like to ask you if you could explain us a little bit about the difference between calligraphy, typography, and handwriting. Or something like that.
Okay. Thank you, Akshaya. I think it's a very, very pertinent question which all of us need to understand. We belong to, unfortunately, a generation which started putting our thoughts as young kids in the school physically with a pencil and paper. And many of you would recall your parents, this is for the audience, many of you young people would recall that, you know, your parents would be talking about the cursive writing notebooks, which were a standard issue in class 1, 2, 3 and things like that. Of course, today's generation, they also have that, but the proportion is much lesser as compared to using the keyboard with their fingers, right? So what I'm trying to say is that writing using any tool, whether it is a pencil, pen, or even if there is a charcoal and some child in the remote village is making marks on the wall, it's a very, very important act, right? So somebody has very rightly quoted that typography is making the thoughts and ideas, making it visible. You know, it is only because of the type, the text, in whichever form it manifests, it brings a certain physicality to the ideas and thoughts, right? And this is in sync with what Dr. Santosh was talking about. Ki, you have to be a scribe also and a content creator also. Now coming back to your specific question, so there is something which is called handwriting. You're all aware of it, and I'm not going to go down the trip ke doctors ki handwriting kaisi hoti hai. I just can't imagine a typeface being designed on doctors' handwritings, you know, because only the chemist can understand it. With due respect to doctors.
I am already working on a font.
Ah, wonderful.
Based on doctor's handwriting. Nobody will be able to read it.
I love that. I'm looking forward to it, Shri. You know, but with due respects to the doctors, and then we have students in any class and any school teacher which will vouch for it कि भाई इसका क्वेश्चन पेपर करेक्ट करने में तो मजा आ जाता है ना. There is this term called इस स्टूडेंट की हैंडराइटिंग तो मोतियों जैसी है. Now when they say मोतियों जैसी है, without realizing what they are looking at is the consistency of the size, form, shape and proportion. So वो beautiful handwriting हो गई, even though the child has written using a very popular gel pen which is very popular today, or a fountain pen or whatever. Now when we talk about calligraphy, in the true spirit, even if when we look at history, calligraphy is beautiful handwriting, yes, we all agree on that, but it is beautiful handwriting using a certain set of specific tools. And to my limited understanding, I am saying this with great humility, that the most beautiful aspect of calligraphy is of course the content, कि आप क्या लिख रहे हो, what are you writing, whether it is a religious sloka or a cultural saying, or even if you are writing something as beautiful as happy birthday or thank you. The shape and form or the visual manifestation of the letters are influenced by the tool which is being used by the calligrapher or by the artist. And then when I say this, I am sure all of you guys have imagined a huge plethora of tools, from a pilot parallel pen, or khud se banaya hua reed pen, or a pencil which you have sharpened to a flat pencil, or maybe a dip pen, or maybe a brush, or maybe one of those, you know, Coca-Cola cans ko fold karke banai hui nib. All these tools are coming to your mind. But remember, if you think consciously, it's not just the tools, but it is also the variety and uniqueness of the style which each of these tools bring about. That has also crossed your mind quickly in a split second. Am I not correct?
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
So now that is calligraphy. And there are a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of avenues, and I'm sure Achyut sir, Santosh sir, a lot of amazing work is all around us if we seek it, if we look for that work. So this is specifically for the audiences. Whenever you come across any piece of calligraphy, and borrowing Achyut sir's work, before you click on that heart icon, ask yourself, ये किस tool से बनाया होगा, किस paper पे बनाया होगा ना, कैसे पकड़ा होगा tool, किस तरह की इंक होगी. Now that is what makes calligraphy so much more different from handwriting. Now coming to the third stage which you asked, Akshaya, is what is hand lettering. Now hand lettering, to my knowledge, is something where we are carefully constructing the letters in such a way that the direct use of a tool may not be able to give you that result. Huh? Uh, so the visual design is first constructed in the mind and then executed on the surface. It could use a multiple variety of tools, including a pencil, a brush, acrylic color, poster color. You are using it to create inlines, drop shadows. Santosh, just give me a second. है ना? So, and hand lettering then eventually leads to the design of what in graphic design parlance is known as logotype. Hmm? Uh, and then the fourth level is taking those letter forms and programming it, creating it into a software which is known as a type font file, which many people can use consistently. Na? Yeah, Santosh, please add on to what I've said.
I don't want to be a rebel here, but I love the question which is asked to you by Akshaya. That is the difference between calligraphy, right, Akshaya? Calligraphy, writing,
And hand
typography,
lettering.
Typography and hand
hand
lettering.
if I'm allowed to say so, but with respect to all the others, because why? Because it's my beloved question, and at JJ, and why I specify in JJ not to promote this particular institution, but today in India, after going through and visiting many institutes and also like about more than 12 plus countries, I've come across that this subject is not taught the way it should be, frankly. But then how it should be? Then in our old syllabus, it starts with scripts, handwriting, calligraphy, lettering, and typography. Now here we all know what is handwriting. I will not give much more time into it. But scientifically, it is said handheld tool, the letter drawn of the script, the letter which is drawn of the script. Script means script system. The letter drawn of the script by handheld tool is known as handwriting. Then when we go to next, calligraphy is the original French definition, the Greek definition is kalos and graphene to write with. Kalos is beauty, graphene to write with. Merriam-Webster says, yes, the Merriam-Webster's dictionary says the artistic stylized or elegant handwriting or lettering. So even Merriam Webster dictionary is trying to improvise the original meaning. The kalos and graphene to write. Similarly, in typography, type and graphene to write means say what you wanted to say by beautiful handwriting. Say what you wanted to say by composing the typefaces. See, it says write in the sense say, express, narrate, illustrate, describe, tell us by means of beautiful handwriting, by means of arrangement of the typefaces and all that. Now the word lettering is considered by all over the world as an hand lettering because there was a school of hand lettering, you know. Professor Mahendra Patel is encouraging that school of hand lettering also because it's also known as letter making. In India, is extensively used by handpainted.com is a site and where the hand painting means. But we at JJ do not tell them that lettering means that just because these are the narrow ways of looking at the word lettering. When we look at the word, we dissect the word and go inside the word in the manner of ing is a prefix, suffix of the word, acting, talking, walking. That is how we take the word lettering, later painting, later stitching, later inscribing, later sculpting, later engraving, and later many things that ing. So we I will proudly say in JJ, now I will not give credit to my all the old teachers because they have never taught me like this. Over the period of time, we have improvised this and we got a wonderful results. When students stitch letters, stitching, embroider letters. There are no boundaries. See, listen, we have created this terminology and scientific terminologies only in order to get more insights to explore the subjects, but they come to us through the research domain in a manner of jargon, a burden on our head. That, oh my God, these are the terms and these are, I get suffocated with terms. I sometimes say no to terms. Yeah? I don't want terms. But frankly speaking, the terms are to pay attention in a micro way in order to get insights for the further exploration, molding the letters, painting the letters, sculpting the letters, whatever between typography and calligraphy, whatever is remaining is completed with lettering as per our definition. And therefore calligraphy is untouched, single touch, like almost like single touch connected to handwriting. Professor Shrikumar.
Yeah, can I add Akshay to this?
Yes, sir.
It's that, I'll give a very short answer to this complicated question. I was thinking about this for a long time. According to me, all the terms you used, they cannot have separate definitions because they are all linked to each other.
That's true.
They're all letter form exercises, but however, we can only share some of the widely accepted definitions. For example, calligraphy is generally defined as the art of beautiful writing. Okay, but again, it raises some questions. Like I write something, for you might see it as beautiful writing, someone else might not. But still it is calligraphy. So can I say that it has to be 100% true that it is art of beautiful writing? Need not. So then handwriting. Maybe handwriting with an intention to look beautiful, can it be calligraphy? So there are a lot of these intersections of these areas. And typography. So there are thousands of definitions. According to me, I believe that typography is the art and science of communicating with letter forms. So it need not be with type only. It can be a mark on the wall also, which tries to represent a letter. So there are a lot of these things which are intersecting with each other. So, and a signboard painter, intentionally, he creates an image with his brush and pencil and marker and all that. In the back of his mind, he is trying to recreate Caslon, but he doesn't even know the name of that font is Caslon.
I agree.
Okay,
Lovely.
or the lowercase a might not be looking like Caslon, but G will be looking like Caslon. Or it can be a hybrid of Times Roman half, a little bit of Bodoni there, and a mix of topping of Caslon somewhere. That is also there. You look at signboards, they are excellent works of hand lettering, and many of them can be developed into beautiful fonts. So some of the signboard painting, if you see even in the 60s, some of them can be much better than any of the things you see in type specimens. So they are termed as hand lettering. So these are different areas, and many of them have intersections with each other. So I don't think through using definitions we can put them separately. It is all part, they are all brothers and sisters under the same tree.
Very well said. Akshay,
Absolutely.
can I come back here?
Please, sir.
I agree fully with what Dr. Santosh also said, that it is not a micro view, it is a macro view. And also the kind of examples which Shri gave are very important. I will try to simplify it for the benefit of our audience. When we talk about typography, we need to understand it in the historical context. With the advent of printing, when in the around the 14th 15th century, the scribes who used to make copies of religious documents were challenged by the invention of the movable type, which made reproduction of written content faster, cheaper, and more affordable. It was a revolution because it helped spread the content, and then with content, all kinds of things happened, right? Including political revolutions and all those kind of things, religious revolution. I'll not get into that. That was an era where the printed type was sacrosanct because it had a certain physicality, it has a certain physical weight. Into bracket, I am talking about letterpress, the movable type. So it had a certain purity that Baskerville looks like this, Caslon looks like this, Bodoni looks like this. Of course, there were different versions, France में जो cast हुआ, England में जो cast हुआ, and all those kind of things. But there was a certain consistency when the letter forms were reproduced. The other level of purity is calligraphy, where the purity and consistency is born out of the skill of the master calligrapher and the way they talk to and the kind of relationship which they have with their tools. At one level, senior grandmaster like Achyut Pala, who can create magic with any tool. At another level, a young upcoming calligrapher like Dilbag, who has just reinvented the way a particular tool like a parallel pilot pen can be used. Guys, please look up on their work online. Anything else in between falls under hand lettering. If a computer is not used, it is hand lettering. At one level, there is a school of hand lettering in the US, and they are considered like living heritage. At another level, there is this kabadi wala who takes an old toothbrush, dips it in black paint, and writes his mobile number on the corrugated tin sheet outside his shop. That's also hand lettering. Aesthetics is very subjective.
Yes.
No? So I'm talking about the purity in the spirit of the produced letter forms. That could be another way of understanding what are the difference between these three.
True.
So the
It is
moment a calligraphed work, this is my personal opinion, and all of us will have different opinion. If I, as Santosh said, single shot contact, एक ही बार में आपने वो पेपर पर एक टूल लेकर के इंक से कैलीग्राफी करी है. The moment I scan it, the moment I start correcting the curves, the moment I start manipulating the edges, cleaning up, then it's not calligraphy anymore. Then it's a digital
Absolutely.
image. Then it is a doctored image.
True.
So in calligraphy, there is a certain purity of the soul, which is equally important.
True. So, sir, one last question to just G.V. Sri Kumar sir, and then we'll wind up. Sir, this is a very important question, and hence I don't want to ignore this. It is about how do we improve general awareness of calligraphy and typography, and also, you know, in the future after the post lockdown, how do we take care of awareing people about the education related to calligraphy and typography?
I really feel that we need to introduce calligraphy and typography and a lot of design related topics in a school curriculum much early. Because there are a lot of people who don't know anything about calligraphy. They are hearing it for the first time and ask that what is calligraphy? So and my suggestion is, you know, somewhere around the 6th standard or 7th standard, we need to introduce the concept of calligraphy and letterform studies and other design related topics like graphic design or product design, things students can do with the bare minimum things. See, I was fortunate enough to be introduced to calligraphy when I was in the 5th standard. But no other student in that school got that apart from my batch. So I think, you know, once we introduce this early, then a lot of people will get aware, and then a lot of people will take calligraphy as a very serious subject, which is not happening now. So, you know, even for design students who come for a interview, you ask, can you name 3 graphic designers in India? They have a problem. But they know a person who has appeared for an Indian cricket team even for 1 match. You ask this cricketer, uska date of birth kya hai, or aaj subah wo kya breakfast khaya, everybody knows. But nobody knows one graphic designer's name from India. Does it mean that India doesn't produce any graphic designer, or India doesn't produce any calligrapher? So
It's all about
it is
branding.
not there in the textbooks. In the textbooks are filled with all those things about, this viceroy from British play era, what that person did, what was the name of his dog at home, all kind of things. Why can't we talk about what is calligraphy? We have one of the richest cultures and manuscripts, and we have the wonderful tradition of calligraphy in India. We have 22 official languages, and we have hundreds of non-official languages and beautiful scripts. We have a gold mine, and we don't tell this to any student until the student reaches a applied art school or applied art college. This has to change. And if we can introduce them early and introduce all kinds of visual arts and sculpture and painting and product design, apparel design, all this in the classes 7, 8, 9, 10, our things will change drastically.
Correct.
When you go abroad, when you are taking this city tour, you'll notice that every building, when they introduce, the first thing they say is, this is the name of the building and who designed that building. So that is a kind of a respect given to the designer. That is the issue here. Nobody knows who Sudarshan Dheer or Yashwant Chaudhary or R.K. Joshi. This is the thing. So I really feel the education system need to recognize art, design, all those forms, visual art forms, as important enough to be introduced to children at different stages of their life. Then things will change.
Can I add, Akshaya, here? I
Sure,
think
sir, sure.
Shri has, hit the nail on its head.
Absolutely.
And it is actually a very ironical thing in our current academic system. If I could talk about the NCERT/CBSE syllabus, and now with the new education policy, they are moving towards a more greater interdisciplinary, multidisciplinary, non-academic activities. And there is also a program called the integrated art learning kind of a thing. It's a very interesting thing that in every other subject, science, social studies, English, Hindi, Sanskrit, whatever it is, the students are expected to prepare project reports and project works. And every teacher expects that the cover has to be well designed. But the art and class teacher is not trained to give that inputs. That is a lacuna which we need to address by appropriate training, number one. But more important than that, and we have started moving in that step with Typography Society of India and many other organizations and groups like the India Design Council, we need to publish. We need to publish and talk about our own grandmasters of the country.
Yes.
A lot of design schools, their understanding is based on, and I stand by what I'm going to say now, is based on the Western understanding of art history. And our own Indian art history and cultural history date back to 3000 to 5000 years before that. I mean, what are we doing? Now it is high time that in the next coming years, we need to start publishing. Where are those 3-volume books on R.K. Joshi's work? Where are those books on Yashwant Chaudhary? Where is a book on Mahendra C. Patel? Where is the book on Vikas Satwalekar? We need to start feeling proud about them. And this is an open appeal. We are open for funding. Please help us publish to everybody who's listening to this talk. Thank you.
Very well
Absolutely.
said. I agree completely with what
Truly. Truly, sir, it is really amazing to listen to all of this and your honest opinions about it, because I think that we really lack about we lack information about all of this. It is not easily available as well. It is not only about not knowing, people not knowing about it, but it is really very not very easily available to all the people around us. So it becomes really difficult for everybody to know about it. And sometimes these things happen that you sometimes visit somewhere, you go somewhere, and people are not even aware about who made it, or who is the artist behind it. And that is a really sorry to say this, but it's a shameful thing to all of us, all the artists, the whole artist community actually. But it is really amazing. We have absolutely put forth some very important points to look forward to, and I am sure that this discussion has been very fruitful for the audience, and it has been an amazing discussion up till now. Very amazing experiences, as well as lot of inspiration for the audience and the students sitting for the screen. So here we conclude our session, and I would really, really like to thank all of you for your time, for your suggestions, for your opinions, for your sharing of experiences, and all that love you gave to your art forms and every single art form you practiced up till now. And I would also like to thank Ajit sir. He's not here right now. I think he was a bit in a hurry. I would also like to thank him for being here and giving his time. I would really thank all of you for your time and your efforts. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.